underrated skill, especially since at the higher level, you kind of think of that as being almost a gimmick or maybe not quite as safe of a way to play, but Jilks definitely makes it work.
And then starting on the right side is going to be the right back, Ethan Francois Revalier. And as a sophomore out of Leicester, England, he has really been having a great season. Has started all but one game of his career here for the Maple Leafs. That's upwards of 30 games starting on the field for head coach Aaron Patrick. And he recorded an assist on Saturday in that win over Huntington. And there's not many people that I would be more scared of attacking one-on-one at a right back position than Ethan Francois Revalier.
Absolutely. By now, every team that plays Goshen knows that Francois Revalier is going to be anywhere on the field at any given time. I mean, he's going to cover his side of the field most predominantly, and his role in defense, I would argue, is still the most important. But he will get up the field and make those offensive plays, as you said, and as it reflects on the scoreline. Francois Revalier is just a threat at all positions.
And another player who easily can get up the field on those sidelines starting at left back tonight is Darwin Obando. And he's a sophomore out of Orlando, Florida as well. And he's been seeing more and more minutes. Head coach Aaron Patrick has to be pleased with what's coming out of that left back position.
Yeah, there's no reason why he wouldn't be stepping on the field more often. Obando brings a lot of the same things that Francois Revalier does, just maybe stays back a little bit more, which is smart. I mean, you want your back line, by and large, to remain that back line.
Then as we move into the midfield, Andre Famosai probably will be playing in that defensive central midfield area, a role he's very used to. One of three players to start every contest so far this year, alongside Chup at defense, and then Escalante in goal. And he's a staple in there. And then also in the middle with him, we'll see Kyle Ramirez-Ingold and Spencer Ashman. That triangle three in the middle had so much control in that win over Huntington.
Yeah, from what I heard, it was a great game in the midfield for the Leafs, which is something that against Bethel College, they let possession go to the Pilots a little more often, and that's kind of why a few bounces went the Pilots' way. So controlling that midfield will be key again.
Then looking at the outside on the wing positions, coming off of that 2-goal game against Huntington, athlete of the week for the Maple Leafs athletics entirely here at Goshen College is TJ White. He'll be starting on right wing, and then countering him on the left side is going to be Darius Rollins, who had a game tying goal a few weeks ago as well. And there's a lot of speed on this Maple Leaf team, especially at those wing positions.
Yeah, TJ White, even against Bethel, had by far the most offensive opportunities we saw of any player. So clearly a key cog in this roster. He can shoot it from far back, so he's got that long-range threat. But obviously, you mentioned it, the athleticism is going to get him cuts into the box. You see him practicing it constantly before games, where he just collects a pass and one-touches it into the goal. Very much one of our top offensive threats.
And then last but not least, starting up top is going to be number 9, the junior out of Archbold, Ohio. It's Brody Nafsinger, and hasn't necessarily produced all that much, but he's always making the right runs. He's by far the hardest working forward up top. And he's always pushing, looking for those corners, and is not afraid to go into a tackle and win the ball for his coach.
Yeah, I think you said it best. Almost like a defender playing a forward position. He fights for the possession of the ball. He considers it his job to keep the ball there. And if he needs to score, we saw plenty of that last season. Nafsinger is well equipped to be that scorer if they need him to be. But as we said, TJ White has been that man most recently.
Once again, starting for the Maple Leafs, they're in their home whites here tonight. White tops, black shorts, white socks. Johan Escalante in goal, and forest green everywhere for the Maple Leafs. Once again, Escalante in goal. Jilks and Chup in front of him. Francois Revalier and Obando at the wing, or at the left and right back positions, respectively. In the midfield, Andre Famosaya, Kyle Ramirez-Ingold, and Spencer Ashelman on the right side. TJ White on the left. Darius Rollins, and up top, Brody Nafsinger. Whew, that's a lot of words to try to say at once. Looking over on the other side, we have the Marian University Knights, and arguably very interesting uniforms for the Knights. Haven't really quite seen anything like this. Kind of like the Hoosier pinstripes is what I was thinking. The Hoosiers candy stripes, but instead of red and white, it's navy and yellow.
Yeah, if I were to step into the graphic designer aspect of this jersey, I would say it's a little bit hard to read what you're supposed to be able to read on it. But at the very least, we've got a spirited roster for the Knights as well. Number 2, Almami Diaby is from Ivory Coast, and he's a junior defender. Liam Stratton, a junior defender from Sydney, Australia, is here as well. From Mexico, Pablo Martin, another senior defender. Rounding out the back line, Max Jackson, a senior defender from Brownsburg here in Indiana, and also from Carmel, Indiana, junior defender Luke Sartino. At forward, Sterling Stedham is a senior forward from Indianapolis. Quentin Bridegroom, a junior midfielder from Avon, Indiana. Number 14, Joe Radcliffe, is a junior mid from Nantwich, England. Number 26, Hayden Goral, is a freshman midfield from Greenwood, Indiana. Another freshman mid from Lebanon, Ohio, is David Haley. And number 99 is the number for the goalkeeper, going in the opposite direction of traditional goalie numbering, from Chesterton, Indiana, Caleb Gmirek.
That's the starting 11 for the Marian University Knights. Once again, they're in vertical navy and yellow stripes, navy shorts, and navy socks. Keeper in gray top, black shorts, and black socks. As for the refs, they're in green, a Kelly green top, black shorts, black socks. As we get ready for soccer, sun shining out onto the field as it sets behind the press box. We get ready for more Crossroads League soccer.
Absolutely. This should be a fantastic matchup. We'll see if Goshen can keep that momentum going. One of the best offensive performances we've seen for them since their 3-0 win against Graceland on September 10th.
Quickly looking at other games from around the conference tonight, Mount Vernon Nazarene hosts St. Francis, Huntington hosts Spring Arbor, Indiana Wesleyan hosts Grace, and Taylor hosts Bethel. All of those games set to start at 7 p.m. a little bit later this evening. Goshen kicking off at 6 p.m., which will be followed by a volleyball contest inside the Gunton Gymnasium at 8, which you can hear on 91.1 The Globe as well. It'll be Marian ball moving right to left here in the first half. Goshen will counter left to right. Stedham with foot on the ball in the center circle. Can't quite see, he blocks the number of the teammate standing right beside him. As we now not quite sure what we're waiting for. And there's the whistle.
Hey.
And we're underway. They're going to drop it back. The Knights bring it out through the midfield. Ball swings all the way out to right wing. Trying to go up that right side. It's blocked down by Obando. It's going to go out of play. It'll be a throw-in for the Knights. Throw comes to the middle for Martin. He settles it down moving forward. However, that's picked off by Famosai. Gets it to White. Into the middle. Ramirez Ingold flips up over his foot. And now here come the Knights. Haley with it, tries flicking it forward for Stedham. However, Jokes will be the first to get a touch on that one. However, the Knights still pushing forward. Now it's Francois Revalier who will clear it away towards midfield. However, there it's settled down by Sartino and brought to the near sideline. Ball into the middle. Ashman will take this for the Maple Leafs. And now coming the other way, leads it forward for White. He tries turning outside, but it's picked off by the Knights, and they're going to slow things down now. Ball to the near side for Sartino. Trying to get one down the line for, yes, it will be Stedham. Trying to get around Jokes, and we're going to have a whistle right now, right down near the end line, just outside of the 18-yard box. We'll have a free kick for the Knights. Basically like a shortened corner here.
Yeah, it was a really good seeking ball by the Knights right up here on the near sideline, and it forced a tough play from Tevin Jilks. And the foul, not a bad call, I would say. It was right outside the box, so Jilks was within his rights to do so. But it essentially amounts to kind of an awkwardly angled corner, not terribly hard to defense for the Leafs, actually, given it's a more cramped space to kick it into. But there's also some set pieces you can do that are unique to this situation.
One-man wall and Francois Revalier guarding the near post. Here's the kick, chipped right towards the top of the 18. Chup gets a touch on it. It's settled down right back to him, and he'll clear it away out of the box. TJ White near the center circle with it now. Turns, looks upfield. Fakes the pass forward, and will play it square out to the near side for Francois Revalier moving forward. He's got Rollins inside of him, asking it for the corner. He gives it to him. He touches it down towards the end line. Ball across the middle. It's deflected down. And the keeper gets... Gimrick comes out and gets his hands on it right at the last second. Otherwise, waiting to put that away. White and Knopfsinger both just a tad bit too late.
Really well-designed play by the Leafs. Rollins made a great run. Francois Revalier gave it to him in the perfect spot. The pass deflected off of the goalie's gloves, but the Leafs overran the play because they were trying to meet the pass where at its apex, and the goalie just got to it first.
Diaby with it. He's the right of the two center backs tonight for the Knights. Has it near midfield, now drives it forward. Jokes heads it out towards the left corner. No one's there, however, and the Knights are going to track it down. Goral tries to take ending line on Chup. His cross is too slow, and Escalante will come out and grab it.
So early on, some really good offensive opportunities for both teams. Not even 3 minutes into the game. Some lucky breaks for both defenses, I would say, or maybe unlucky breaks for the offense, depending on your point of view. But at any rate, Escalante punts it well beyond midfield.
I was worried there. I realized I hadn't said how much time had elapsed yet, and I had forgotten. Then I realized, oh wait, no, it had been less than 3 minutes. Nonetheless, we are now at 10 seconds under 42 minutes remaining here in the first half. Just a 3:20 gone by now, as the ball deflecting back and forth in the midfield, and finally Martin will settle it down for the Knights. Tries a through ball. Jokes is ready for it, knocks it down, gets to Chupp. Chupp's pass out is deflected by Martin. It goes over to Obando. He touches around, touches too big, ball served back into the middle, and Jokes will deflect it away again. Martin with it on the far sideline. Plays the ball square to Radcliffe. Radcliffe touches forward. Back to Radcliffe, square into the box. Deflected away again. It's Jokes who gets it there. And the ball falls again to the foot of Martin for the Knights. Martin decides to drop it off. And moving forward with it now is Jackson. Comes out near sideline. It's settled backwards. And back into the middle by Goral. It's deflected away. Great tackle there by Famosai. And the Maple Leafs come the other direction with it. Rollins across midfield. He's got Francois Valier on his shoulder and tries giving it to him down towards the corner. Back to Rollins inside the 18. Ball across the box. Great ball. TJ White's there. Puts it off of Gimrick and still in play. Gimrick goes diving for it. And he has it. They're going to say ball was in play that entire time. Another good offensive opportunity for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, TJ White tried to take a touch inside the box and it deflected off of him too hard and allowed the goalkeeper to make a play. Would have liked to have seen, obviously a better touch would have worked a lot better, but maybe even a one-touch opportunity from TJ White. The pass from Rawlings was absolutely on point.
The ensuing ball down the field is going to bounce all the way to Escalante for the Maple Leafs. His punt now, looking for Knopfsinger. However, it's Jackson who gets a head on it. Moving forward with it now is Bridegroom. Flicks it to the middle, looking for Stedham. It's too far out in front, and Escalante will claim it.
Certainly has not been a game played in the midfield almost at all. They are just continually going from goalie box to goalie box, or penalty box to penalty box, I should say. And so far, no goals, surprisingly, but at this rate, you have to imagine we're in for a high-scoring game.
Ball's out of bounds at the midfield. Mark on the near side. That's a nice throw. Looking to go up the line with it is Sartino. Ball deflected, Stedham with it. Ashman gets a headed on it, and it falls to Famosai for the Maple Leafs. Lays it off to Chupp. Chupp looks to spread the field out, then slots it back towards the middle for White. Doesn't find him, instead finds Diaby for Marian. Ball up the far sideline, a bit heavy. Chupp's going to watch this one go out of play. It'll be a Maple Leaf goal kick. 6 minutes gone by, no score between Goshen and Marian, but plenty of offensive opportunities for each team.
Yeah, I'd love to see what Goshen could do controlling the ball a little bit more. It's not necessarily their style of play from what we've seen, but they are having to field a lot of chances here for Marian, and maybe slowing the game down a little bit will help them out.
Escalante directing traffic, and now puts the ball back into play. It's over midfield before Martin gets a head on it for Marian. Bridegroom tries flicking it on. Anyway, the ball will end up at Jilks. Volleys out to the near side looking for Rollins. He settles it to Famosai. Comes square near side for Francois Revalier. The Maple Leafs have possession. Middle for Amiris Ingold. He loses it. Martin looks into the middle and moving towards the outside with it now. Radcliffe poked away from him, but the Knights still have it back to the near side. Francois Revalier will watch this one. Now takes a touch towards the sideline. And will play it out of bounds. It'll be a throw for Marian. Ball in towards the middle, and now drops back to Martin. Play it back through, and we'll flick down towards the corner. Chested down, Sartino with it. He'll hit one into the box. It's deflected out towards the top of the 18. And a shot on just over the crossbar there. I believe that was Radcliffe who came in running to hit that one. Nonetheless, it'll be a goal kick for Escalante.
Escalante so far has just been kind of choosing to boot it as far as he can with some of these kicks. But this time he's going to play more possession.
Comes this side to Famosaya. He'll look up towards midfield. Francois Revalier keeps this one in play and turns upfield. Down to the corner for Rollins. He'll get to this one to be able to turn in towards down the end line now. Into the middle. Deflected out of play. As Jackson got a foot on that one. It'll be a corner kick, though. First of the game will go to the Maple Leafs.
And that's several times now here on this near side. The athleticism of Rollins and Francois Revalier have combined to make great opportunities and get them the runs. That time a defender deflected the initial cross out of bounds, but that only delays the inevitable second cross, which comes in the form of this corner kick.
Obondo's going to play it short to White. Lays it off to Obondo back. His cross headed away by the Knights. Bounces once, and before Francois Revalier will volley it more or less straight back up. Then goes up and wins the header, but it's out of play. Throw in for Marian. Sartino will take. He'll throw to the middle to Martin. Martin opens up. Is denied the drop pass. Has to come back up the near line. Now the Maple Leafs trying to squeeze it. However, Sartino is going to drop it back to Jackson, and the Knights are going to be clear. Ball across midfield, now down the far sideline as the Knights make another push. Ball served into the middle. However, drifted more towards on goal, and Escalante jumps up to make the grab.
Yeah, not a bad shot on the run like that. It seemed to be very much on frame for our first official shot on goal for the Knights, but as it were, Escalante was in perfect position.
Chup with it now. Looking into the middle for Famosai. Skips under his foot, and now the Knights have it. Ball into the middle of give and go. Stedham, however, Jokes gets a deflection on it, and the Maple Leafs able to track a few more defenders back. Martin with it, lays it off near side for Jackson on the midfield line. He'll serve one across the top of the 18. It's settled down, and then Chup will knock it away. It's deflected off of Chup again and into the midfield. Ashelman with it. Opens up to the near side. Famosaya with it, space to move forward. He'll chip one forward, looking for Rollins. And Gimrick's going to come out and then retreat with the ball pretty much in his grasp, but not technically until he enters his own 18, makes the grab. Throws out near side for Sartino. Sartino chips one forward. Stedham there making the run. Escalante comes out. Stedham gets a touch on it, and there's the stop of the clock. We'll see what the call is. Looking for the breast pocket, which means it's only a yellow. It'll go to Escalante. It'll be a free kick for Marian just outside the 18, similar to where their free kick earlier in the game came from.
Yeah, and that's a situation where Escalante caught himself going for the ball, but kind of realized he wasn't going to necessarily win it. He got there at the same time as the offensive player. You can't afford too much time or space to be left when you're outside the goal, and there's probably people running in on the inside. So Escalante gave that foul, which does have to be given a yellow card because that is pretty substantially stopping an offensive movement by pretty much just tackling a player.
And the ensuing free kick, low driven across the middle, headed away by the Maple Leafs, but still bouncing around in the 18. Finally, it's Francois Revalier who clears it out. It'll be a throw on the near side for Marian.
Good job by the Leafs adjusting to an awkward angle. You don't usually have to deal with free kicks from that distance, but the Leafs treating it like shorter corner kicks and working out well enough.
Sartino with it, trying to go down towards the end line on Francois Revalier. He's shielded away from his own ball then as the Maple Leafs have it. Francois Revalier across midfield will drive this one. Diaby will settle it down and dribble in toward the center circle. Now he'll look square over to the far sideline. Ball into the middle, touched by Stedham, but it's over towards Obando, and the Maple Leafs retake possession. Chup will drop it back to Escalante, and we reset. Escalante's kick is right to a Knight in the midfield. However, their header falls to the Maple Leafs as Ramirez Ingold has it. Fakes the drop back and will go out to the left side for Chup. He'll turn up the line, gets it to Obando. He hesitantly dribbles forward and then plays square for Ashelman. Back to Obando. Looks up the line, poked away by Martin. Maple Leaf throw.
There have been more than a few times the Leafs have been a little bit shaky on their clearances. Either kicking it away not as far as they wanted or kicking it straight to a Knight player. At any rate, they've got an offensive drive coming up, but I'd like to see more clear clearances.
12 minutes gone by here in the first half. Still no score between Marian and Goshen. Men's soccer here on 91.1 The Globe. The Maple Leafs with possession along the back line. It's Tevin Jilks. They'll slot one into the midfield for Famosaya. He turns upfield and chips one down to the near corner. Francois Revalier, the one making the run. He shields, tries to settle it, bounces off of him right as he got bumped from the backside by defender, and it'll go out of play. No call. Throw in for Marian. They'll throw a back pass for Jackson. Goes under his foot, but he's able to recover and gets it to Gimrick in the box. The keeper will punt this one away across midfield. Chup gets a head on it, bounces straight up takes one bounce, and then Radcliffe heads it out towards the far sideline. TJ White there for the Maple Leafs, however. Marian will keep possession as Diaby has it. Ball to the midfield to Martin. He'll turn and look upfield. Plays the ball for Stenham, looking for a backdoor cut, and it's through there for Goral, but the flag is up. He is offsides. Looked like it was a good opportunity, but just didn't quite have the timing.
Yeah, and Francois Revalier was playing the trap there. He intentionally allowed his man to go off sides and knew it was going to work out. He recovered just in case the play was going to be made, because Francois Revalier is in all places and all times, but a well-placed trap.
So it'll be Jokes to take the kick for the infraction. Tries going square on the ground. It's intercepted quite easily by Bridegroom and the Knights. Bridegroom shakes past one defender, a little give and go into the box. There, he's going to be bumped off the ball by the Maple Leafs, but it's cleared away. Radcliffe with it, still in striking distance. Plays out to the right side, making a move down to the sideline. But it's picked off by the Maple Leafs' great defense. There, Obano's pass up the line, deflected out. It'll be a Maple Leaf throw. They look up the line immediately for Knopfsinger. He touches into the middle for White. Drops it off back to Obando, and we'll switch fields. Famosaya in the midfield now. Out to the near side. Plays for Francois Revalier. Looks back towards the middle. Lays it off for Jilks. Defender coming on his back. Back out to Francois Revalier now. He tries turning with it. He's run down, and there's the whistle. Free kick for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, that had to be a foul. Absolutely just mowed down. But you saw again, a steal had to bail Goshen's defense out from just kind of a sloppy clear, and that time even on a free kick from Jilks. Goshen just needs to play a little bit safer.
And the kick is in towards the box, headed out by Jackson. It'll be a throw for the Maple Leafs down in their offensive third. It'll be Rollins to take. He's got a short option, gives it to Ashman, right back to Rollins. Service into the box, right to Gimrick, and the Knights can clear. So they're going to roll it out now to Martin. Touches forward for Bridegroom into the center circle. Moving forward, now tries to slot one out to the right side. Ball back to the midfield for Radcliffe. Trying to chip out towards the corner, ends up being more towards the sideline, but still across into the box for the Knights, back towards the top of the 18. And a missed touch there from Goral, and the Maple Leafs have it. Knopfsinger with it now. Edge of the center circle, near side for Rollins. Touches to the sideline, Francois Revalier, now across midfield. Looks to switch it. Great ball, finds TJ White into the 18. Slows things down now, does a little move. Doesn't quite work, but does keep possession. Now drops it off for Obando. The Maple Leafs recycle, they'll have another ball into the box. It actually bounces off of the back of Haley. I know Obondo's going to get called for a bump there, and the Maple Leafs have to fall back on defense.
A really good find by Francois Revalier to see, amazingly, TJ White left alone by the defense, but unfortunately White's first touch wasn't quite good enough to keep going with the ball. He had to settle it, and by that time Marian's defense adjusted well enough that they were able to come back away with the ball here.
Gimrick to take the kick. Looking down the far sideline, Obano's going to shield this one. Probably looked like it will indeed get over the end line. Goal kick for Goshen. Escalante goes short to the left side for Chupp. Chupp out to Obando on the sideline. His chip forward by Knopfsinger, deflected out of play near midfield. It'll be a Maple Leaf throw. Obando will toss it back for Chupp. Ball to the middle for Ramirez Ingold, back to Famosai, and the Maple Leafs going to switch to the near side. Ball with Jilks now moving forward up the near side. Touches forward for Rollins. He'll turn forward. Now look back into the midfield. Lays it off for Chupp moving forward. Now Chupp, met by a defender, has to spin backwards and will lay it off for Famosai in the center circle. He'll come out near side, however, and Jilks has space forward. Touches into the middle for Rollins. He'll turn with it. Turns, moves forward now into the midfield. Slots it back for Knopfsinger. Just behind him, still moving into the box. Diaby, no whistle, ball still alive as Jackson has it, and he'll clear it away for the Knights. Jilks touches into the middle for Ashelman. Ashelman out to the near corner for Francois Revalier. Service into the box. And Gimrick comes out to make the save. Ball's out to the far sideline as the Knights look to come the other direction quick. Radcliffe with it. Try to pass forward for Stedham, but he'll drop it back to the defense. Now right back to Stedham in the midfield. Comes left side for Jackson. And the center defender moves forward with it. Towards midfield, now touches near side for Sartino. He's looking into the middle, and that's going to be picked off, at least momentarily, by the Maple Leafs. Now racing down towards the end line. Francois Valliere will indeed get there first. It'll go over the end line. Goal kick for the Maple Leafs will be the call.
Yeah, really good play by Francois Valliere. He shielded the ball as if he wanted it to go out of bounds, and then kind of at the last second, he just flicked it off the opponent's foot.
Escalante wants to go short, but the Knights now putting a defender. They're still going to play it out to the near side for Famosaya, and no response from the Knight defender, so Goshen with it, slowly working their way forward. Famosaya chips up forward for Francois Valliere. Touches it down for Rollins. His ball down the line, a bit heavy, and Jackson ends up with it. He'll play it away. And now Gorel with it, moving through give and go in the midfield. It's a tackle from Famosaya, wins the ball, bouncing free in the midfield. And now Ramirez Ingold with it to the near side for Rollins. Rollins in the midfield, Famosaya. Famosaya spins and lays it off for Ramirez Ingold. Now forward for Rollins. He flicks it. Can't keep it in play. They're going to say Knight throw. And now they're going to, we've got a sub, at least a player asking for a sub. Took a bit of a hit there. It was Goral. It looks like he will continue to play on as the Knights have it along the back line with Diaby. Diaby to Martin in the midfield. Into the center circle to Radcliffe. Carries across midfield line over towards the near sideline. Now slots it forward for Goral. Goral touches around a second one. Tries chipping it through, but Jokes gets a leg on it. And it bounces back towards midfield. Goral will chase it down. Back to Diaby. Diaby square across the midfield line for Jackson. And then down towards the corner for Sartino. It's a bit of a heavy pass. He can't quite get there. It'll be over the end line. Goal kick for the Maple Leafs. 25-15 left here in the first half. No score.
And now that was a possession that just moved up a little bit more slowly, you saw Goshen set defense work a lot better there. And indeed, they really allowed no solid chances. That deep pass looking into the corner was a good enough look for the Knights, but it was a hard pass to connect from where he was, and as you said, a little bit too heavy to connect.
Maple Leafs with it. Jaden Chupp along the back line, moving towards the midfield line now. Now he's going to turn back and play it all the way to Escalante. Maple Leafs don't like their positioning. They're going to reset. Near side to Jokes. Jokes moves forward. Into the midfield looking for Rollins. Poked away from him by Martin, who's going to play it off of Martin's foot and out over the near side. Maple Leaf throw. Good job to salvage something from that. From Rollins. Ensuing throw flicked forward by Knopfsinger, but right towards the Marian Knights. Diaby with it now. Going to give it to Radcliffe, who cycled back in to get that ball. Now touches forward for Stedham to Martin. Martin with it. He'll pull it back towards the center circle to Radcliffe. Radcliffe looks over towards that far sideline. And that pass picked off by TJ White. Trying to get that in for Sidibe. Ball up the far side looking for Knopfsinger. However, Diaby gets a touch. He mishits it, and Knopfsinger moves on. Only Jackson to beat. Touches back towards into the 18. Touches to Ashman, top of the 18. He has a hit. It's deflected. Rollins gets a head on it. It's in, and it's a goal. The Maple Leafs lead. They're looking over to the sideline official, and there's no call. The Maple Leafs lead 1-0, and Gimrick is down. Rollins split second decision there, as Rollins gets a head on it right before Gimrick tries grabbing it. Ooh, and now the medical trainer has been issued onto the field. Maple Leafs, however, do get the goal. They lead 1-0. As the goal coming in the 22nd minute of action.
Yeah, and a really well executed fast break from the Leafs there. Knopfsinger caught a bit of a break when the defensive player whiffed a stab away from the ball. That's why it's kind of a risky strategy to play on defense. He got a free trip to the box, but he didn't like his positioning as a right-footed kicker being on the far side. He dribbled it up as much as he could until they forced him to pressure it, gave it off to Ashelman. Ashelman's shot into the goal as they are continuing to look at Gimrick. deflected off of a defender, but fortunately Darius Rawlings, one of those situations where the bounces go your way and not your opponent's, and now we're at 1-0. Really great execution there on the header.
That's Rollins' second goal of the year to go alongside with 1 assist for a total of 5 points. That moves him into second place on the team, only trailing Ollie Smith. A little bit of point race there as we move through the Crossroads League season. A third of the way through, this is the 4th game out of 9 for the Maple Leafs. Their next 2 are on the road as they go to Spring Arbor on Saturday and then to Taylor next Wednesday. Those are going to be rough games for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine they're looking forward to traveling on the road, but they've had a nice little stint here at home, and hopefully they can head on the road with a 2-game winning streak.
And they're on the way to do so now. They've got 1 in the books and on the way to a second as they lead 1-0. A goal in the 22nd minute came at the 21:30 mark. And it goes to Darius Rollins. I guess we'll have to check with Sports Information Director Tony Miller if there's going to be an assist on that one, as Ashelman's shot was blocked over or deflected over towards Rollins.
Yeah, I would imagine traditionally that's not going to be given an assist since it wasn't done on purpose, but I suppose you could argue that it was a teammate's pass which led directly to the other teammate's goal.
We'll see, checking the stats. They have nothing has been officially commented on. Gimrick still over on the near side. Looks like he's going to be something being taped, perhaps, as the Marian goal is completely empty right now on the south side of the field. 1-0 the score. The Maple Leafs lead over Marian University in this Crossroads League action on 91.1 The Globe. My name's Andrew Snyder, alongside J.D. Hirschberger. And it looks like we have a different numbered goalie coming in. It's number 0, Tyler Blattner, the senior out of Franklin, Indiana, will be getting some action, some minutes here. As now Gimrick will be done for at least for the first half. We'll see if he returns for the second half of action.
Wow, 5 goalkeepers are registered on this team's roster. That's a very deep core of goalies.
Gimrick had made 6 starts, appeared in 8 games. Blattner has made 4 starts so far this year, has appeared in 6 games total for 428 minutes. He's given up 17 goals, made 25 saves. Goal kick, ball played down the line. The Maple Leafs will recover. It's Jokes with it. Ball into the midfield for Ramirez Ingold. He turns with it, gets around the defender, now through the center circle. Will play it down to the far side corner for TJ White. Stretching out the legs, can't quite get there. The sideline flag does go up. And now we do have a whistle as some pushing and shoving, words being exchanged there in the far corner. And they're going to say, now coming back, the ball was out of bounds, so all of that extra action, you could call it, I guess, extracurricular action. And now we've got a stoppage of the clock.
The flag will not stand up, which is its entire purpose, so I guess that's what they're trying to fix right now.
I believe there's a hole in the ground that's supposed to slide into or something.
Yeah, you would think it would be that simple, but
we'll have to see.
Yeah, a rough play there. Some of the fans here asking for a foul on a hard slide tackle, and then it looked like the last signal we got was that it was actually going to be Marian ball, which, yes, they're going to make it a goal kick. And I can't say that I agree.
Actually, I don't think they are making. I think they just asked for the ball so the keeper could get some shots going.
Oh,
warming up his hands.
That makes more sense.
Also a sub for the Maple Leafs as Nate Nussbaum now on the field. Maple Leafs have shifted to a 4-4-2 formation, or perhaps a 3-5-2. A bit hard to tell as Famosaya was the player to check out as Nussbaum settles back into the defensive midfield position.
Man, and a foul called there on Goshen in the meantime on a pretty ticky-tack play. Maybe a little bit of inconsistency here on the harshness of tackles and the calls that accompany them.
Nonetheless, ball moving forward for the Knights. Pressure coming from Nussbaum, forcing the ball back to Jackson in the back line. He approaches midfield now, trying to slide it through, and Ramirez Ingold steps in. Ball to the middle for Knopfsinger. Settled back for Nussbaum. He's going to swing it left for Ashelman. Ashelman lays it off to Chupp. He'll dribble into the center circle and move forward. Now out left for Obano, just out far in front of him. And a throw-in for the Knights. to take the throw is going to be Horn. Quentin Horn checked in for the Knights on the goal. We'll be playing on the right side. Horn, the senior out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Jackson with it now at the left center back position for Marian. He's got a ball to the near side to Sartino. To the midfield, he drops it right back to Jackson. Jackson now looking in towards the middle. Gives the ball to Radcliffe. He turns with it, takes a bit of a big touch, and loses it to the Maple Leafs. Rollins to Nussbaum, and forward come the Maple Leafs. Looks out left side for White. He's going to have to come back to deflect it. Now the flag comes up. I'm going to say he was too far forward and came back from an offsides position. Free kick for Marian. 21 minutes left here in the first half. Goshen leads 1-0 on a goal from Darius Rollins. Ball to the near side, Sartino with it. Looking up the line, nothing there, drops it back for Radcliffe. Moving into the midfield, back out right. For Sartino, it's dropped back. And Jackson has some time and space to move now. Jackson across to his right to Diaby. Diaby moves forward, comes back to the near side. And Jackson with it now. And Ashwin is going to be credited with the assist on that Maple Leaf goal. So it's Spencer Ashwin with the assist on the Darius Rollins goal in the 22nd minute as Goshen leads Marian 1-0 here on 91.1 The Globe. Coming the other way, the Knights making a bit of a push. Bridegroom with it on the corner of the 18. Drops it off. And coming back with it all the way to Jackson. He'll serve one to the top of the 18. Chup goes up, gets a head on it. And then it's settled down by Horn. Horn lays it off to the right side. It's that pass by Stratton, deflected out of play. It'll be a throw for the Knights on the far sideline.
And it's hard to not get the sense that the game has sloppied up a little bit since that goal. We had to deal with the injury. There have been a couple of other stoppages of play. It's been an interesting couple of minutes.
And there's an attempt at goal, but not really anything dangerous as it trickles wide to the far side. It'll be a goal kick for the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs will play it short once again as Chup has it. He'll go back to Escalante in the box. Fakes to the near side, now cuts back far side to Chup. Chup looks up the line. He's got Obando on the line. Nussbaum towards the middle goes to Obando. He'll lets it ride on the line, but keeps it in play enough to continue fall down the sideline. He's going to lose it, and Martin with it in the midfield for Marian. Touches forward. Radcliffe out to the far sideline. Stanton tries looking forward. Jilks will get this one. Stedham there. But the ball dropped back, and Escalante has it now. Back out left side for Jilks. He'll turn and move upfield. Then back to Escalante. They've got Francois Valliere to the near side if they want him. They're going to give it to him. He's got space to move forward. Now he'll drop it back to Chup. And Chup will swing the field over to Jilks. Jilks settles down, looks forward for White. White settles it. Looking forward, nothing there. Lays it off back to Jilks. The Maple Leafs just recycle their runs. Out left side now, Nussbaum. Nussbaum back to Jilks. Jilks square across the middle for Chup. Chup near side for Francois Valliere, intercepted and deflected out of play. That was Troy Hale who made the stop. Francois Valliere with the ball in hand now for the throw. Looks up line for Knopfsinger. Bounces off of Knopfsinger's back, and somehow he still settles it down. Now moving back forward into the midfield center circle. Ramirez Ingold out left side for Obando. Bondo back. Ramirez Ingold back to Chup. And now Chup moving forward. And chips back out left side. The flag goes up. TJ Wyatt's going to be offsides. Free kick for Marian.
That last throw-in we saw from Francois Valliere to Knopfsinger was actually amazing. Somehow, being the operative word you used there, it bounced off of his shoulder as he was surrounded by two other defenders, and somehow he got to it first. If that is what they planned, that is the most technically difficult throw-in I think I've ever seen.
Sometimes, like you said earlier on the goal, sometimes you get that little bit of luck.
Yeah,
that gives you the split second ahead of the other person.
Sometimes it bounces off your shoulder blade just right.
We've all been there.
Yeah, exactly.
Ball's back into play. They're going to drop it back. As Blattner tries going to the far sideline, mishits it, and it'll sail over the sideline throw for the Maple Leafs. And Obano's just going to go back to Chup in the corner of their offensive half. Now he looks into the middle. He can swing the field for Francois Valère. Instead goes into the midfield, mishit it a bit. It deflects off of Martin, and here come the Knights. That through ball too heavy. Jokes covering well. And now Escalante just kind of wasting some time there, however. We're still at the 16.5-minute mark of the first half. A 1-0 lead's not nearly enough to secure this win.
Ooh.
Ball through the midfield, and here's the chance for the Knights to equalize. Hale with it, cuts to his left. Jokes, the long legs come through again.
Yep, the stabber extraordinaire back there. It's gotten him in a little bit of trouble in certain moments in this game, but obviously hasn't quite broken through yet.
Maple Leafs with it in the midfield. It's Ashelman. Hale on his right side goes to Nussbaum. He lets it run across his body and out towards the left side. Now takes a touch back towards the middle. Now looks into the middle. Now ball swung out back to the near side. And Sartino will get a touch into the middle. Martin will head it on back to Jilks in the midfield. He'll come out near side looking for Francois Valère just over his head and out of play. Into that Marian bench. It'll be their throw. Sartino forward to take at the midfield line. Into the midfield. Into the middle. It's settled down and dropped back for Martin. Chips forward looking for Radcliffe. Down the line for Stedham. Flag stays down. Stedham across into the box. No one making runs. And an easy save for Escalante.
Yeah, one of those times you can technically call it a save because the ball traveled towards the goal and would have gone in if nobody were there. But no, certainly only something that can pad a goalie's stats.
Chup with it now for Goshen. Out to the left side for Obando. He'll lay it off for Chup. Maple Leafs taking their time. They want the exact positioning before they move forward. And they can afford to take that time.
Yeah. I don't like to see a ball trapped in your own segment for too long, but as long as the ball's at your feet, you're doing something right.
Ball forward for Knopfsinger. Might be that chance from Nussbaum, but it's hit too hard, and Blattner will come out and make the easy save. He'll roll it out for Diaby. Into the midfield to Martin. He'll turn forward before he's sandwiched. Able to get rid of it, however, to Hale in the center circle, who drops it off to Jackson. He'll slot a ball looking for the corner. Sartino deflects it up, and then Rollins goes way up over him and heads it away. And Sartino's just kind of like, well, yep, can't do much about that one.
I loved Sartino's reaction, like, oh, well, I can't jump that high.
Ball thrown in. Francois Valère has it, and then gets to Ashwin. Great little chip, and then up the near line to Rollins. Forward to Knopfsinger. Man on his back. Loses it as Martin tracks back, then gets it back to Knopfsinger. Good job for the Maple Leafs. White with it. Turns to the outside and will play it off for Obando. No options down the line, really. And that pass towards the middle, blocked by Horn. Ooh, here's a chance. Stedham takes it away from Chup into the box. Escalante's there. Stedham shot. Deflected wide. It'll be a corner kick. Good kick save from the keeper.
Ooh, when your back line commits turnovers, that's when you want that goalkeeper who knows his angles and his positioning. It showed off there. Escalante pushed up to take away the best angles for scoring. He tried to chip it right past him, but he just got that leg in there. Corner kick isn't great, but far better than just allowing an easy goal.
13-15 left here in the first half. Goshen leads 1-0 over Marian. Crossroads League men's soccer action. It's going to be Sartino out to the far corner to take. He'll be hitting it left-footed, causing an in-swinging kick. One player on the keeper, 5 others making runs into the boxes for the Knights. Ball lifted up towards the penalty spot. Knopfsinger first up to get a hit. And Radcliffe's ensuing kick from the top of the 18 is way wide. Goal kick for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, it was wide, but it really had no other choice. If he had actually put it on frame, people would have been there to deflect it away. So one of the situations where you feel like you should kick it, but not really anything you can do. Meanwhile, Ari Benjamin and Daniel Rosales are checking into the game. It looks like Brody Knopfsinger's going to take a break and see who else stepped off.
Obando.
Ah.
It looks like it's Stratton getting a break.
Tommy Bullock and Elijah Zorniger checking into the game.
Nonetheless, Maple Leafs lose it out over the far side, and the Knights have it moving forward. Horn into the middle, flicked on by Radcliffe, given back to him, moving towards the center of the... Trying a little heel flick there was Bridegroom, but the Maple Leafs are ready for it, and Ramirez Ingold takes possession. Chips one up the line. And Benjamin coming back for it, however, the Knights poke it free. The ball's back to Diaby and comes back to the left side for Zorniger. Zorniger in the center circle. comes out near side. Jackson moved out to the left back position, now has it moving forward. Cuts down to the corner. Jackson wearing the captain's band. Ashelman makes a good slide there to knock that one free. It'll be a throw for Marian. And now Zorninger coming forward all the way from the center back position makes me think there's a chance of a long throw here for the Knights. Zorninger all the way back to the fence. Got a good 3 or 4, 5 yard run up here. And here's the throw. Low driven towards the near post. Ashelman gets there, gets a head on it. Then Zorninger settles that down towards the top of the 18. Radcliffe takes one touch. Tries getting a touch back to him. It's deflected away. Now Martin with it. Poked away from him by Rollins. And Ashelman out to the sideline. Francois Valliere will clear it away. And now here comes Ari Benjamin the other way. Gets to the ball, takes a touch. Jackson on his side. He'll circle back into the middle for Rollins. He'll touch towards the middle. Now turns to Shaw, takes deflection. Bounces up in the middle. Blattner comes out and will make the save. White and Benjamin both there for the Maple Leafs. Zorninger there on defense.
Yeah, who knows what would have happened if it hadn't taken just the slightest bounce to the outside. It looked like it was headed right for White.
And here come the Maple Leafs again. Intercepting this is Francois Valliere. Into the midfield for Ashelman. Puts it onto his left. Has a hit. It's deflected by Diaby, bouncing out towards the far corner. And Rosales coming forward will get a touch on it. He's got a drop to White, gives it to him. He'll open up towards the middle. Now back out wide for Rosales. Looks down the line, back to the middle for White. He'll have a hit out towards the far or the near side. It'll skip wide of everyone and out over the end line. Goal kick and a sub for the Maple Leafs. It's freshman from Thirsk, England. Ollie Smith checking in. It looks like it'll be Darius Rollins getting the break here on the right side as a winger.
Rollins getting a nice round of applause for scoring that goal, which, as you mentioned, put him second on the team in points, only to the man who was substituting in for him.
Ollie Smith with 7 points so far this year, comes off of 3 goals and 1 assist. Rollins just 1 goal back at 2 and 1 respectively. Blattner's goal kick will sail well over midfield. Jokes will go up and win it. Into the midfield, Ashelman with it. Now back near side for Nussbaum. He'll turn upfield. Tries coming wide. Didn't really realize Hale had tracked back and turns it over to the Knights. Radcliffe with it into the middle for Martin. He tries turning with it. Somehow skips through Ashelman, but can't get by him a second time as Benjamin with it now. Reflects off of Diaby, and now we've got a whistle. It'll come back. No advantage there. Free kick for the Maple Leafs about 40, 45 yards away from goal. But definitely a good service opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And no advantage was the right call to play there. The ball technically was going in the Maple Leafs direction, but it had traveled to the point where it was just whoever ran there fastest was going to get it. Not a real offensive chance for the Leafs per se.
8:45 left here in the first. The Maple Leafs do lead 1-0 over Marian University. There's a goal from Darius Rollins in the 22nd minute, assisted by Spencer Ashelman. Nussbaum over the ball now. Looks like he's going to have a hit. Driven low, deflects off of one of the two in a 2 separate wall setup there. Nussbaum with it now, still trying to track through defenders, and finally turns it over. Radcliffe does fight back for the Maple Leafs as they now spread out and will set up their normal possession. Left side Rosales. Into the middle for TJ White. Turns just to keep possession. And now with that out towards the sideline. Deflected away, but he gets it back again. Now around the second player. In towards the middle. Has a hit. And Blattner makes the save and then falls on it as Benjamin was there looking for any rebounds. But coming off of those that 2-goal game, you can tell he's got confidence out there. Not afraid to take on players and then have a hit.
Absolutely, and he should. And it's important to test backup goalkeepers who are in this position. Blattner passed the test there, I suppose. The ball did bounce off his hands. He had to catch it bounce off the ground. And when you're not catching balls from that distance, that means you know I've got a keeper who I should be shooting at.
Maple Leafs looking for another fast break, however, it turned over as Blattner comes out near side looking for Jackson, and then it's a turnover. Skips under his foot, another Maple Leaf throw quickly into the middle to Ashelman. He turns with it. Lays it off to Nussbaum, defender on his back. Comes out near side for Francois Valliere. Looks up line for Smith. Smith being told by coach to roast the player, and there he does, down to the end line, chips back to the middle, and Zorninger gets a foot on it.
I feel like that's been Goshen's strategy for about the last 5 minutes. Roast them.
And here comes Nussbaum with one. Serves it into the box to the far post. White's there. Chests it. Blattner makes a save. Oh, my word. What a save from Blattner. White slow to get up. As a service into the box from Nussbaum. Well placed. White got a chest on it, but couldn't get the second touch before the keeper made the save. Maple Leafs still keeping the pressure up, and now another turnover. Now White with it. He loses it, but Nussbaum still in pursuit. Zorninger will clear it away. And up top, Stedham with it. Stedham lays it off. Now into the middle, Bridegroom. Radcliffe back to Stedham. Stedham with it. Trying to play square. Ashman picks that one off. Ashman touches left. Chup moving forward with it now. Bit of a big touch. However, able to slide it away from and over to Rosales. Rosales looking to the sideline, poked away from him. And now coming the other direction are the Knights. Chup picks off that pass. And now into the middle of Ashelman. He'll square open to the middle side, mid of the field. Lofts near side, Francois Revalier. He'll chest it down and look up line for Smith. Gives it to him. A little flick. The Knights are ready for it. Francois Revalier will deflect that one out of play. In the end, it'll be a throw for Marian. 5:45 left here. First half, Goshen leads 1-0. Martin in the mid. Slots one through the center circle to teammate Radcliffe. He'll take it out far side for Horn. Horn taking on Rosales. Tries going inline. Rosales makes the save. Excuse me, the tackle, I guess you would call it. Nonetheless, the Maple Leafs do have possession as it's Ramirez Ingold with it. And he'll play it back to Escalante. He's got Francois Revalier out to the near side. Trying to get it to him. It's short, and a missed touch from Hale would have been in on the keeper. The Maple Leafs catch another break. Francois Revalier moving forward. Into the middle for Benjamin. He shields. Trying to turn with it. Working back. And gives it back to Jilks. He'll play it to Nussbaum. Nussbaum back to Jilks. Looking towards Ashelman near that center point. And they're going to give it over again. Sloppy play from the Maple Leafs. And the Knights haven't been able to make them pay for it yet, but they continue to knock as Horn moving down the right side of the field. Service into the box. It's deflected down. Ramirez Ingold volleys it away. Martin with it now. Puts it to the left. Tries a through ball and deflected by Nussbaum out near side, and Smith will chase it down. He'll keep it in play, and the Maple Leafs can go the other way. Smith towards the middle for Francois Revalier. He turns with it. Player coming on his left. And now back down to the line for Smith. Deflected through by Zorniger. It'll be a throw for the Maple Leafs. 4:20 on the clock. And some subs for the Maple Leafs.
Calvin Mangunda coming into the game, and so is Jesus Dominguez Olvera. Nate Nussbaum.
Nussbaum and Ashelman.
And Spencer Ashelman, thank you. Yeah, like you said, it's some sloppy plays by the Leafs. Johan Escalante kicking one that should have been intercepted in his own penalty box. Lucky for him it wasn't. The Leafs haven't been burned for it, though, so
throw into the middle, finds Benjamin. Somehow gets it free to Mangunda, slides it to his left where Jesus Dominguez has it. Now looking down to the corner for White. That pass way too heavy, and it's over the end line. Goal kick for the Knights.
Yeah, and why did Dominguez Olvera prefer that TJ White get it when he was in a position at the top of the penalty box? He was trying to get it to the man who wants to get it into the middle if he had the ball. I think Dominguez Olvera just was a little bit gun shy using his left foot.
Blattner plays this one out short to Diaby. Into the midfield for Martin. 3:20 left on the clock here in the first half. Goshen leads Marian 1-0. Jackson with it on the left. Cuts in towards the midfield as he crosses. And now back to the center circle for Martin. Martin forward to Stedham. Into the middle for Bridegroom. Try and flick it back. Somehow comes left side for Hale. Hale with Jilks as the defender. Tries cutting down to the end line. And Jilks wins that one pretty easily. And now gets around Jackson as well. Touches forward for Smith. Smith will continue down the line. Poked away from him by Stedham, but it'll be a Maple Leaf throw. Francois Revalier to take. 2:45 in the first. The line, looking for Benjamin. He lets it run by. And now in a foot race with Zorniger. Keeps possession down the line. Zorniger with a good tackle, and there's going to be the whistle pushing him over the ball. Free kick for the Maple Leafs.
Really good job of Ari Benjamin just playing to keep the ball and move it slightly forward when he had the opportunity. He knew he could frustrate his defender if he kept at it long enough and just dribbled it right down the near sideline. And sure enough, he got pushed over before too late.
And it'll be Ollie Smith to take. Serves it into the box on the right foot. Deflected once, falls to TJ White with it near the penalty spot. It's a hit. It's saved. Benjamin the second. Oh, and it's right at Blattner as he lays on the ground. Oh, the score stays 1-0.
And good job by Blattner being at the right place and the right time. But again, TJ White, that time I really liked the touch he took. Recognized that he would have kicked it right into a wall.
Ball in the middle, Mangunda with it. Still in the offensive half, lays it off for Francois Vallaire. Up the line to Smith. Looking to take on Jackson. Lays it off, tangling him, loses it a bit. The ball in towards the midfield. Now Martin with it. Slots it forward for Stedham. He turns back up the near side for Hale. Hale runs over. Now we'll drop it back for Jackson. He'll touch into the middle. Then come back down towards the corner. Still working. Now service into the box. Deflected up by Jilks. And then Chupp heads it away. Ramirez Ingold in pursuit. It'll end up with Smith. Lays it off Mangunda out near side. And that's another turnover as Martin will chase it down. Man, he'll slip. Marian turns it over. Ollie Smith the other direction for Goshen. 1 minute remaining. And now a good defensive stand as Stedham picks that one away. His ball down to the corner is a bit heavy. Jokes will watch this one go over the end line. Goal kick for the Maple Leafs. 45 seconds and counting here in the first half. Goshen leads 1-0. Ball's out left side for Jaden Chupp. He'll go to the sideline for Rosales. Skips under his foot and out of play. Throw for Marian. 25 seconds left. Ball to the middle. Chupp deflects it and then headed away by Rosales. Horn back into the middle. Headed right back to Horn. Splits two defenders. And there's a whistle. They're going to get a free kick here with 12 seconds left. See if they can get it off.
9, 8, 7, 6.
You can hear the countdown. Ball served into the box. Martin got a foot on it, but it's right at Escalante, and he makes the save. Had that gone in, it definitely would have been on time. Nonetheless, Goshen goes into the half leading 1-0 on a goal in the 22nd minute by Darius Rollins, assisted by Spencer Ashelman. My name's Andrew Snyder alongside JD Hirschberger. Coming up in the halftime break, we'll recap the first half, give you stats, the goals, analysis, and more. We'll look elsewhere around the Crossroads League, and then we'll get you ready for the second half of action here from the John Ingold Athletic Complex. Once again, you're listening to 91.1 The Globe, your home for Maple Leaf Athletics. Back on 91.1 The Globe, your home for Maple Leaf Athletics. My name's Andrew Snyder alongside J.D. Hirschberger here from the John Ingold Athletic Complex, home of the Goshen College soccer programs. And tonight, men's soccer hosting Marian University, in the Maple Leafs lead the Knights 1-0 at the halftime break. A goal in the 22nd minute coming off the foot, or the head, I should say, of Darius Rollins, who received it off of the foot of Spencer Ashelman with the assist. So, J.D., overall, some of your first comments right after we went off the air there was like some really great things, and then some really not so great things. So talk a bit more about what you meant by that.
The offense has looked really clean today, and maybe an extension of what we saw against Huntington, where they beat the conference leader at the time. You see a lot of really crisp passes, especially along this near side. Ethan Francois Lavalier has gotten involved. When it was Darius Rawlings, they were connecting quite often. Even when it was Ollie Smith, they were making some plays down there too, and they've gotten the ball inside, specifically to TJ White. You can tell that they're using him as their target, and even though White's had a couple of not-so-good touches in the box, those are things you can clean up. The offensive opportunities are definitely there for the Leafs, and I expect them to score some more goals, at least one more. But here on the defensive side, if Goshen continues to give sloppy turnovers, I definitely expect Marian to score some goals as well. There have been some questionable choices, some keeping of the ball when they should have just cleared it away. If the Leafs feel like they don't have a solid target to get it right to on defense, then just boot it downfield. That's kind of their strategy anyway. They like to do a lot of these fast break plays, so I'd like to see the Leafs really either commit to clearing the ball or have a for sure target, because sometimes they're doing something very much in the middle and it's getting intercepted, and when your back line is committing turnovers, that is the #1 way that goals are scored against you. Overall, I'm happy with what I'm seeing from the Leafs. Plenty of energy, and even though they're making some turnovers on defense, they are always making plays to back themselves up, and that's why there's still a goose egg on Marian's side of the scoreboard.
Looking at some other statistics there from the first half, each team one corner kick. As for shots, Maple Leafs had 8, 4 of them on frame, 1 of them finding the back of the net. As for Marian, 5 shots, 3 on target, no goals, however, to show for it. Each keeper has made 3 saves. And leading the way for the Maple Leafs, as you mentioned, TJ White, a lot of confidence out there with the ball and not afraid to have a hit. He leads the team with 4 shots so far tonight. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll look elsewhere around the conference. 2 games already took place earlier today, and then a few more coming up later this evening. We'll have scores from each of those, and then we'll get ready for second half of action. All of that right here on 91.1 The Globe. your home. My name's Andrew Snyder alongside JD Hirschberger. And as we look out on the field, JD, we've got one game going on here, but we've got 4 other games around the conference taking place tonight. Mentioned them in the pregame show, and 2 of them have taken place already. So Mount Vernon, St. Francis, we've got a final score from there. That's a 3-0 outcome there.
Yeah, that's right. Mount Vernon taking out St. Francis, and that's good for us to escape St. Francis in the standing. Mount Vernon now up to 3-1 in conference. 9 points puts them technically at the leader right now. Better winning percentage coming out from Spring Arbor. But meanwhile, Spring Arbor themselves, I should say, they've also had a final result. So, excuse me, they've beaten Huntington 2-0. So after Huntington's 2-0 start in conference play, a loss to us and a loss to conference leader Spring Arbor has landed them at 2-2. We can catch Huntington if the score holds tonight. But Spring Arbor with 10 points is 1 point in the lead ahead of Mount Vernon in the Crossroads League standings.
And speaking of Spring Arbor, that's Goshen's opponent on Saturday. They'll travel up to Spring Arbor, Michigan to take on the Cougars. That's at Cougar Field once again in Spring Arbor, Michigan. A 7 p.m. kickoff on Saturday evening. You can hear it here on 91.1 The Globe, your home for Maple Leaf Athletics, beginning at 6:45. About 5 minutes left here in the halftime break before we get ready for second half action. Once again, 1-0 the score here between Marian and Goshen. Then the 2 other games that take place later this evening in the Crossroads League, Iwu will be hosting Grace and Taylor hosting Bethel. And so coming into tonight, some of the keys to the game for the Maple Leafs was defensively. Set pieces has been an overarching theme of the season for this team. And then also just having possession and being able to stay calm in the back. And then that also translates over to offense as well. That's been a thing for the Maple Leafs, is having the confidence and the mentality of knowing what the right thing to do is and knowing that you're right and just then doing it. And so we've seen that once again talking about TJ White. A lot of confidence coming off those 2 goals. Coach told him, you're doing the right thing, and then he saw that it would work. And so he's doing it more and more. And everyone else is trying to jump on board with that now. So the Maple Leafs doing a great job of sticking up to these keys to the game, or at least things they've struggled with in past contests.
Yeah. Again, we'd like to see some improvement on the back line, less turnovers. And you mentioned set pieces, though. There were a couple of awkward set pieces where the Knights had free kicks just outside the penalty box, but in such an angle where it's kind of just a shorter corner kick. The Leafs handled it very well. It's not something you see terribly often, much less twice in the span of about 10 minutes. But we saw it there, and the Leafs defended both of them quite well. Yeah, but as you said, I think the offense is definitely brimming with confidence, and they've made quite a few good runs so far in this game. If they continue to play like that, I definitely expect at least another goal on their side of the scoreboard, and that'll go a long way towards evening their conference record.
1-0 the score between Goshen and Marian. We're going to take one final break, and when we come back, we'll get ready for the second half of action, give you starters, and get underway. Once again, you're listening to 91.1 The Globe, your home for Maple Leaf Athletics. Goshen College is 1-5 in weekday contests so far this season. However, this Wednesday night, they're hosting the Marian University Knights, and they lead 1-0 at the halftime break. My name's Andrew Snyder alongside JD Hirschberger, and as we get ready for the second half of action, JD, we see the Maple Leafs coming out onto the field, and it looks like pretty much the same crew that got the start tonight. I can see two different, or it's the crew that came off of the field, I want to say.
Yeah.
It looks like it'll be Escalante in goal. I see Jokes and Chup behind him. Rosales getting the start in the second half at left back. Francois Revalier on the right. And then Ashelman, Ramirez Ingold, and I believe Famosaya, I see him out there, will be in the midfield. TJ White gets the start on one side, Darius Rollins on the other, as we saw in the first half. And then Ari Benjamin actually going to be making the start here up top for the second half for the Maple Leafs. They'll be traveling right to left, once again in their home whites.
And sticking with Ollie Smith, too, on what will be the far side now, as we switch fields. I like the energy we had from this group. I like the energy even more we'd had from the first group. But like I said, I think the offensive players are by and large doing well as Ethan Francois Revalier joins the team here at the last second. But I would really, really like to see the defense shape up. Make safe plays if that's what you have to. If the best thing is just to kick it far away and out of bounds, then do that. Much better than risking trying to thread the needle on your back line.
So as they spread out into their positions, now we see Escalante in goal, Jokes and Chup in front of him, Rosales on the near side back, Francois Revalier on the right side, Ashelman, White, and Mangunda in the midfield, Benjamin up top, and then Rollins on the right wing, and Smith here on the near side as the left wing position. As for the Knights, it is indeed still Blattner in goal to start the second half. In front of him is Martin and Diaby. A little bit of a different formation. A 5-3-2 coming out for the Knights. The Maple Leafs sticking with their 4-3-3. Ball in the corner. Smith takes it away. Gets to Mangunda. Back to the top to Ashelman. Looks to switch the field. Looking for Rollins. Behind him. Back to the middle for Benjamin. Is hit. It's on goal. What a goal from the Maple Leafs. A beautiful combination as the Maple Leafs take the 2-0 lead here just 24 seconds into the second half.
It all started with an awkward long pass into the corner that Ollie Smith faked a defender out, and from there, just 3 passes, one to Mangunda, then one inside, then the sweeping pass to Rollins, which got over his defender. He was from an onside position, just settled it back in for Benjamin, who one-touched it into the goal. That is a near professional grade level of execution on a goal. Ari Benjamin should feel happy about his part of it, but all of the Leafs involved in that play did a fantastic job to put us up 2-0 immediately.
And there's going to actually be a double assist on this goal as Ashelman played it to Rollins, who one-touched it to Benjamin, who one-touched it into the back of the net, meaning the double assist for this game. Ashelman picks up his second as the Maple Leafs go up 2-0. On the ensuing goal kick, the Knights turn it over and then foul Darius Rollins trying to win it back. So it'll be a Maple Leaf free kick just over the midfield line.
It is a satisfying thing to see a set play that was clearly some design, at least some design. Maybe the kick that far into the corner wasn't intentional, but it's very satisfying to see a set play work out so well and for the Leafs to look so crisp on offense.
And now Jaden Chup with it on the backside for the Maple Leafs. His ball forward is deflected down, and Goral gets it forward for Radcliffe. Into the middle looking for Stedham. Bridegroom gets a touch on it and now has it on his left. Gets to the middle for Stedham. He chips it into the box. Ashelman makes the diving kick up over his head. Headed away by Rosales. Back into the box. Chup gets a head on it. Oh, what a save from Escalante. Sartino was there, volleyed it right, and Escalante gets his right hand down for the save.
And that is Escalante's vision. He saw the offensive player in the angle he was coming from to go from the air and the ball in the air, and he knew he just had to run in and make himself as big as possible, and it worked out.
Jokes with it on the backside. The Maple Leafs are 5-0 so far this year when they lead by 2 or more goals. Off to a great start. And in 2 of those contests, they went on to score 3 or more. Ball tossed back to Jokes. Maple Leafs happy to keep possession now. But still looking forward, gets to Benjamin just over his head. And it'll skip back to the goal box for Blattner. Blattner rolls out near side for Diaby. Diaby into the midfield. Laid it off to Radcliffe out to the left side. Jackson moving forward. Jackson down the line. Rollins applying pressure, and he'll get to it first. Play it out. It'll be a sideline throw for Marian. Good defense there from the right side winger.
first real set play we've seen in this second half for the Marian Knights, and we'll see how Goshen handles it. This has not been a problem for them, as you've mentioned, as it has been in previous games, but we'll see if they can continue to stay tight.
Jokes pokes it free, but Sartino still keeps possession down to the corner, working on Francois Revalier. He wins possession in shielding position, ends up on his knees over the ball, and they're going to give the kick to Marian down in the corner. All purposes basically is a corner, about 2 yards in from the corner flag. And now here's the kick. Low towards the top of the 18. It's flicked on. I believe it was Ashelman who went up and got a head on it. Escalante tries to slide and keep it in play. It'll go out. Corner kick on the near side now for the Knights. Knights, the second corner kick of the evening. Maple Leafs have taken one. Down to the corner, Sartino with it. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger as he sets the ball. 3.5 gone by in the second half. Goshen has the 2-0 lead. Ball into the box. Chubb first up to get it to the backside. Stedham is there. He'll have a hit, and Benjamin goes out to deflect it straight up. It's headed away. And now Gorham with it back towards the middle for Jackson. Poked away from him by Rollins, and the Maple Leafs have a 3-on-2. Rollins, Smith, and White moving forward. Diaby touched around one by Rollins, but he deflects it out towards the corner. And then a slide tackle will carry it out of play. It'll be a throw-in for the Maple Leafs. But the momentum has been broken down at least a little bit.
Man, I'm surprised that slide tackle wasn't called for a foul. Pretty blatantly only went for Rollins as the ball was already sliding out of bounds. Just wanted to prevent Rollins from saving it, but at the very least, the Maple Leafs will get a throw-in. Goshen has not been known as their strategy to try to actually use the throw-in as sort of a free kick, but that's exactly what they're going to do.
And it's headed to the top of the 18. There's TJ White as a hit. Oh, it's just wide of that post. It'll be a goal kick. The Maple Leafs continue to knock, looking for goal after goal after goal. They lead 2-0 over the Marian University Knights early in the second half. Ari Benjamin's second goal of the year to go along with 1 assist. Gives him 5 points. And now all of a sudden the point race within this team has gotten mighty interesting.
As long as Goshen wins the point race that matters, which is in the Crossroads League standings.
They currently sit tied for 6th. Escalante has the ball on his foot now. Knights are tied for 2nd as they sit at 2-1. Ball forward headed by Pablo. Pablo Martin into the center circle. Ashman will go up and win this one. Gets to TJ White. Diaby wins it away from him. Carries across the midfield line towards the near side. Now passes down the sideline. Gets it right back. But a great tracking back from Ollie Smith. Takes it quite easily. Now Ashleman with it. His ball up the line, deflected down, and volleyed away by Stratton. And Stratton's volley will end up all the way to Escalante. He'll chest it down. Won't have to use his hands. And can now waste some time waiting for Stedham to co-pressure him. Now Escalante will pick it up. And we'll punt it away. Great punt from Escalante. Bounces once. And then Ollie Smith's going to be there. Diaby gives him a bit of a bump, and now we've got a flag. A flag is up, and they're going to get called for that bump. It's going to be a free kick for the Maple Leafs. About 23 yards. Looks like they're going to. He continues to walk forward. It'll be about the top of that center or that arc on the 18-yard box.
Yeah, it looked like it might have also been a handball.
Now we've got to stop. The clock has been stopped at 38:32 as we set the set piece up.
All right, again, kind of an awkward position to be this close on a free kick. It's a little bit better to be slightly back, mostly because the wall, in order to be an appropriate distance away, is just kind of blocking it in order to loop it over the wall, but also have something with enough velocity to trouble the keeper.
It'll be Francois Revalier to take. Has a hit. It's deflected out to the right side. It will be a corner kick for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of the problem. It's they deflected off of the wall, but at any rate, that's probably a little bit better. That's a fine result for the Leafs to get a corner kick, because now this is a position from which you have some space. You can choose some options.
It'll be Rosales to take. White checks near, and they give it to him. He'll touch it back to Rosales. Served into the box and deflected out up top. Ashelman with it. He chips it back to far post. Jokes goes up and settles it down, but the flag says he's offsides.
Yeah, and you can see the entire Marian back line moved as a unit then and left a couple of Leafs defenders behind. It's classic example of the offside trap. And
Up the near side is Goral with it. Smith tracks back, and as a quicker player will poke it out over the sideline. It'll be a throw for the Knights.
I couldn't even finish my thought before Marian was counterattacking there. And now they've got a throw-in that they'll take pretty short.
Goral to the middle. Bridegroom tried getting around Ashelman, able to poke it free, and now Smith with it. However, Goral was the last to touch it. He'll go over the end line. And now they're actually going to say corner kick, as the, looks like I'm going to say deflected off of Smith, and he just watched it roll out of play.
Yeah, Smith definitely played it as though it was going to be a goal kick. He assumed it would be, and cost him a corner.
Corner kick, third of the game for Marian, second of the second half. And again, it'll be Sartino to take the left-footed. Lofts this one towards the penalty spot. Benjamin gets a head on it to the top of the 18. Goral has a hit. It's deflected by the oncoming charge. Now Benjamin's going to get whistled for that. As Goral went down, Benjamin rose up a bit higher and looked like his elbow was around the face area. So I think that's what the foul call is going to be.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can imagine, because Benjamin, you could clearly tell, was going for the ball, and he got the ball. So I guess just flailing those elbows, which is a legitimate gripe, but that's the only thing I can think of.
Four-man wall for the Maple Leafs. Sartino and Stedham standing over the ball. Sartino left-footed, Stedham right-footed option. See which one ends up taking it. I'm guessing Stedham will, as the team's leading scorer. But who knows? Sartino approaches. He'll have a hit, and it's wide. Looked like it could have been on frame there, but Escalante did not seem troubled by it. So it must have been pretty safely wide for him not to be worried about it. Ball played out short on the goal kick for Rosales. It drops back to Chupp, up the near line to Smith. Little give and go. White turns towards the middle, looking for Mangunda. Radcliffe checks back to take that one away. Now Radcliffe with it into the center circle. Slots it forward. Yeah, with the ball slotted through, Chupp gets a touch on it. However, still with it is Bridegroom. Chupp deflects it away again. Now down towards the corner. Bridegroom turns back up the sideline. They'll open up and serve one into the box. Goral gets a touch on it, but Escalante will come out and now won't pick it up as there's no pressure. And now a little bit of pressure coming from Haley. And Escalante scoops it up. Escalante's punt, another good one. As Diaby heads it away. Sartino with it now. He poked away from him, and now Francois Revalier lays it off for Jilks. Back to Revalier into the middle. Back to Revalier down the line. Looking for Rollins. Great let there, but it's a bit heavy, and Marian will have it all the way back to Blattner. Blattner's ball into the middle. Headed and then settled down by Ashelman. Lays it off for TJ White. White with it on his left. Moving forward. Slots down to the corner for Ollie Smith. He'll settle it back. Opens up to the right foot, swings it into the box. Headed away by Martin. Now there's going to be a whistle. Ashelman going to get called for tripping as he stopped running and the player tripped over him. Nonetheless, it is a foul. Martin out to the left side, and Radcliffe moves forward with it. Rollins tracking back, forces him to get rid of it, and Francois Revalier deflects the given pass out of play. 34 minutes left here in regulation. Goshen leads 2-0 over Marian University. Ball thrown down the line. Jokes there in defense. And he'll play it out of bounds. Looks like it's going to be last touched by Jokes. So it'll be a throw for the Knights.
And I think that's proof that Aaron Patrick kind of preached something along the lines of what I preach, because that's a ball that Jilks might have tried to control in the first half, and he just kicked straight out of bounds that time.
Ball bouncing up and fighting for it, and finally Jackson serves one towards the top of the 18. Chupp will win that header. And then Benjamin tries to get the second ball. It'll settle down to Martin near midfield, however, and he'll give it to Diaby in the center circle. His pass forward, looking for Haley. He'll drop it back to Martin. Down the corner, looking for Sartino. Great touch. The flag is up. He's offsides. Maple Leafs thought about playing it quick. Instead, Jokes will play it into the midfield, looking for Ashelman. He'll chip it to the near side, looking for Smith. Smith with a good touch. Not quite good enough. It's cleared away off the foot by the Knights. Chupp chases it down. going to be tentatively double teamed, gives it back to Escalante, and he'll clear it up into the middle of the field. It bounces once. Now Benjamin will settle it out to the near side for TJ White. He touches around the defender and jumps over the slide tackle. Great tackle there from Radcliffe, and it'll be a throw for the Maple Leafs. Rosales up the line for Smith. Smith in past one defender, gives it off to Mangunda. He'll have a hit, and it's way wide right. That'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, Mangunda tried to kick that one as he was running, but couldn't quite get his foot squared around on it and went well wide of the goal. Probably won't even be registered as a shot.
I'm sure he'll get a little bit of heckling from the coach after the game about that one.
Remember, you got to put your one foot facing the direction, and then you curl your.
Ball played out to the left side. Short option for the Knights as Martin with it. Slots it into the midfield. Slayed off to Radcliffe out left side. And now back to Martin. Martin to Jackson on the right sideline, back in towards the middle. Sartino will play it down towards the corner now. Radcliffe with it. Turns back, plays it into the middle. Ashman's there waiting for it. And the Maple Leafs have the turnover. Forward to Benjamin at midfield. He turns with it 2-on-2 for the Maple Leafs. Rollins wide open on the backside, but they can't get it to him. To the near side is picked off and played back to Blattner in the box. Blattner waiting for the players to move forward a bit as he dribbles tentatively out of his goal box. Now plays it forward, and it's settled down by Jilks. Jilks forward to White. He'll lay it off to Chupp. Chupp trying to get it forward to Rosales. It's deflected out of play, but it will be a Maple Leaf throw-in. Rosales getting it. Go backwards, now goes up the line for Smith. He'll settle it down. Turns into the middle. Touches around one end, goes down. There's the whistle. Free kick as Radcliffe commits the foul. It'll be a Maple Leaf set piece.
Yeah, really good use of space there by Ollie Smith, dribbling it to where the defenders weren't, and kind of forced that play on their part. As away from the ball, there were plenty of Maple Leafs congregating. Would have just been a matter of time before Ollie Smith got it to him.
Ashman will take the free kick. Looking to put one into a dangerous area in the box and drives it short near post. And Blattner will shield this one out of play. Goal kick for Marian.
Yeah, not a bad idea at all. The kick by Asherman was just a little bit too far to the near post to do anything about it. Good job by Blattner recognizing that touching the ball was the wrong thing. He slid for it, and then he just recoiled his hands back into himself. Make sure that went out for a goal kick.
Ball out short to the left side again for Marian. This time they get in through the midfield before turning it over to Ashwin once again. He pokes it free. Now Ashwin moving forward. Slots it forward for Smith. He's onside. Settles back to his right foot. Has a hit. Curls. Ooh, just wide of the far post.
Yeah, I think he was probably worried that Ari Benjamin was offsides because that was a wide open teammate to his just to his right there. But with a curl like that, I can't blame a guy for trying his shot. That was pretty clean, just a little bit too far out.
And Blattner's ensuing goal kick. Now Ari Benjamin stands waiting for any short options, forcing the long kick here from Marian. This one will get to about midfield. Mangunda will win the header. Settled down finally by Rollins. Flicks it into the midfield. TJ White almost had it, but instead here come Marian. Radcliffe touches it forward for Bridegroom. Out to the near side. Escalante comes out to make the diving save. And he's going to be bumped out of the yard box.
Yeah, the refs talking about how they want to rule this because technically Escalante is holding on to the ball
outside of
outside
the penalty
the box,
kick. However, he was forced there by the offensive player after making the save inside the goal box, but still in the air.
Yeah, I think a foul is the appropriate call here, and yes, that is the call.
There is the call from the official after conferring with his assistant referee. It'll be a free kick for the Maple Leafs. And now we're going to have a card issued to Radcliffe as well for words after the foul call as he jogs back now with a yellow card to his name.
Yeah, I think you're right. That yellow card, not for the foul itself. It was a tricky situation there. I think if they were two regular players, they might have actually let that bump go, but goalkeepers are defended more staunchly because they're the ones who put their bodies into those compromised positions more often. You have to kind of give them that leniency in the rules to let them do their jobs. And now Escalante is going to take a free kick from the rarest of free kick positions.
Ball skips off the head of a Knight through the midfield, and Diaby will not be able to keep it in play. It'll be a Maple Leaf throw 3/4 of the way down the field. 28.5 minutes left in regulation. Goshen leads Marian 2-0. Ball up the line to Smith. He'll now touch back to the middle for Mangunda. He opens up, doesn't have anything, so drops it off to Chupp. Chupp looks forward. Back to the corner for Rosales. He'll chest it into the middle, and it's cleared away by Bratton. Ashwin gets a touch on it, over to Rollins, heads it back up, still fighting in the middle, and Ashwin will end up with it. Touches out to the corner for Francois Revalier. He'll serve one into the box. Smith was there to get a touch on it, and his push save has to be made by Blattner. It'll be another corner kick for the Maple Leafs as Ollie Smith once again in a very dangerous area and gets a touch on the ball.
Yeah, Blattner earning his stripes out there coming off of the bench, but a really nice kick by Francois Revalier in particular. The kick by Ollie Smith couldn't quite tell if it would have been on target or maybe would have hit the upright. Either way, it was just fingered away.
Two players out defending the short option, so Rosales will have to put this one in the box. He does, and it's volleyed away by Martin. Ashman with it now. He'll have a hit, and it dribbles wide to the left. Goal kick for Marian.
Substitution coming in for the Knights. Pedro Santos will check in his first action of the second half. And boy, this is where the jerseys are giving me trouble. Can't quite tell the number of the man coming off. It is Radcliffe, you're right.
Radcliffe on that yellow card. Can return one more time to this contest. Ball played out short to the near side for Diaby. Diaby's ball forward, bounces off of Ashelman, and the Maple Leafs have possession. Benjamin trying to turn Diaby, comes out through, and will earn the foul as well. It'll be a free kick for Marian.
Ooh. Seemed like there was a pretty normal soccer collision there between Diaby and Ari Benjamin, but foul called.
Ball out to the left side to Martin. Martin approaches midfield. And now touches it forward. Great little flick there. Now Jokes will take it away. Jokes still battling Sartino. Wins it. Out of Brian Groom. Ball into the middle, looking for Stedham. Gets a touch to his left foot. Has a hit. Off the post and out wide. But it was a save. Escalante had to make a touch there. Otherwise, that would have been a goal. Fourth corner kick of the night coming up for Marian.
And that was some really great individual plays by Knights there to get the ball out of some compromising positions. But Sartino's kick was just within the savable reach of Escalante. Similar plays on both sides of the field. And it's going to result in similar corner kicks.
Ball served into the box. Headed away by Chupp. It'll be out over the sideline, so it'll be a throw for Marian.
And Marian is still treating this like a corner kick. Their players didn't really change position at all. And they're going to earn, no, it's going to be Goshen earning a throw in now.
Can you turn on the light? Subs for the Maple Leafs. Brody Knopfsinger and Kyle Ramirez-Ingold both check back into the contest. Ari Benjamin and TJ White will be the players getting breaks.
Yeah, I'm sure you haven't seen the end of TJ White, but now with a 2-0 lead, more of a defensive focus is the way to go, and Knopfsinger definitely the forward to make that happen.
Ball thrown up the line to Rollins, lays it off for Francois Revalier. Fakes the pass up the line and will give it back to Jilks, all the way back to Escalante in the box. Ball driven out to the near side. No one's going to be there. A turnover. Bad pass from the Maple Leafs. Goral. Goral will go down the line. There with it now is Santos. Santos service into the box. Stedham went down, and Jokes went down a bit too. Looking for a foul, nothing given. And now we've got a whistle, a free kick, a high kick to be called on Darius Rollins there at the edge of the center circle.
Yeah, but a good no call in the box. A very clean play by Tevin Jilks. Those are situations where if you can tell that defensive player in the penalty box is clearly going for the ball and gets the ball, you can hardly call a foul in that situation.
It'll be Martin to take this one. He can drive it in, and Chupp will get up and get a head on it before a flick from any of the defenders. Smith with it, touches out to near line and goes down. So it'll be a free kick for the Maple Leafs. No card going to be issued. There just will be a simple This is your warning. You do it again, you'll get a card. Type message there from the center official. 23:40 left here in regulation. Goshen leads 2-0 over the Marian University Knights in Crossroads League men's soccer action here on 91.1 The Globe. Rosales will take this one for the Maple Leafs. Free kick is driven forward down the line. Just over the head, Smith gets a touch on it. Then Diaby heads it. It's flicked back towards the middle. Ashman racing forward to be the first to this one. And now we'll set it out left for Francois Revalier. Service into the box, looking for the far post. It's over everyone. It's skipping. It'll go over the sideline. If no one gets a touch on it, and that's what will happen. Ball immediately thrown down the line. Skips over. However, Mangunda will come over and take possession for Goshen. Chubb with it. Forward for Knopfsinger. Skips under his foot. Right to Smith. Poked off of Smith's back. Still tracking forward, working with Mangunda, but it's cleared away. And now come the other way, Sartino with it. He runs right into Jilks, and no foul going to be called as Jilks has the ball.
Yeah, Jilks making a really aggressive play there, especially from the back line position. You'd think he'd play it a little safer, but again, his very stab-heavy style of defense works out.
Ball thrown to the middle for Ashelman. He'll turn and drop it back to Jilks. Jilks to the midfield, looking for Mangunda. Back out to Jilks. Trying to dribble up the sideline, now cuts it back into the middle to Ashelman. Ashelman turns and looks upfield. Back to the middle for Ramirez Ingold. Square to Mangunda. And he'll come square near side. As Chupp chasing it down and can move forward with it. Touches to Rosales. Great touch to keep this one in play. Into the middle for, just behind Smith. And Martin comes through to win it. Now Chupp will win it back for the Maple Leafs. Rosales has it. Into the middle, splits his two players and ends up with Marian. Ashman will track back. Set him up the near line for Gorel. Gorel down to the end line. Service into the box. Escalante makes the save. He'll roll it out far side. Francois Revalier moving up the line. He's got Rollins near midfield. However, no pressure. And now we'll give it to Rollins. He drops it off for Mangunda. Mangunda back down the line. Looking for Francois Revalier. He'll get to this one before it gets to the end line. And keeps it in play now around the defender. Defender still fighting and will win it back, and there's the foul. That's Francois Revalier, and there's going to be a little bit of intimidation there potentially. We'll see what the sideline official says. The foul's going to be called way back on the end line. Ball played into the midfield. Rollins applying pressure, has ball past one, can't get around the second. Great slide tackle from Martin, and Marian comes the other direction with it. Ball into the middle, deflected, and then Chupp plays it. Deflected straight up, Chupp getting under it, and gets the head on it. Because again, this one will drift out of play. It'll be a Maple Leaf throw.
Both teams having a little bit of trouble holding on to possession. For Goshen, that's fine. They're up 2-0, 20.5 minutes left to play.
Ball to the middle, Knopfsinger. He'll play square along the midfield line to Mangunda. Drops it back to Rosales. Back to Chupp. Muffs it up a bit, but still able to get it up the line. Knopfsinger working to win it, and will keep possession for Goshen. However, they're going to say it went out of play, so it'll be a Marian throw.
Things are getting a little bit chippy out here.
And Stratton will be taking the throw, but first some subs, as Radcliffe will turn of the action, as will Hale.
And David Haley coming back onto the bench, and someone else who I didn't quite see. Quickly stolen away by the Leafs, though.
We'll play it down the line where Diaby will chase it down. He'll volley it forward. Rosales gets a head on it, and into the midfield comes with Mangunda. Lays it off for Jilks. Jilks out to the left side, or right side, excuse me. Francois Revalier back to Jilks. Back out right side, Francois Revalier. Cuts back in the middle. And now drops back to Jilks. Not a lot of options. Plays square forward looking for Rosales. He'll touch to the sideline. Francois Revalier moving forward with it. Tries cutting it back, but it's going to be poked away from him and out of play. And they're actually going to say the center official overrides the sideline official, and it'll be a Marian throw.
I'm not sure what he saw there. I am noticing we are seeing the offense has shifted to the far side where we were seeing it on the near side, but that's just because the team switched halves, and Ethan Francois Revalier is still on that other side. For being a defensive player, the offense definitely revolves around him.
Ball in the middle. Hale will drop it off for Stratton. Stratton up the near side, deflected by Smith and out of play. Throw for Marian. 18.5 minutes remaining in regulation. Goshen leads 2-0 over the Marian University Knights. Stratton's throw to the middle, knocked down by Ashelman. Knopfsinger with it. He loses it. Stratton gets it forward for Hale. Now Radcliffe. Radcliffe into the middle, laid off for Santos. Plays out left side, a horrible pass picked off by Francois Revalier into the middle for Mangunda. He'll come near side, and Stratton tracking back will win that one pretty easily and lays it off for Stratner. Diaby with it now. Ball back across the middle to Martin. Martin pressured by Mangunda. Still pressured. Now going to relieve this back to Blattner in the goal box. And now back out left side to Martin. Not a lot of movement here. Ball chipped into the middle. Stedham will settle it down and lobby it forward. Offsides flag will go up. However, the ball would have skipped all the way to Escalante and over the end line before anyone would have gotten to it.
About to see Nate Nussbaum return to the game as soon as he does a dance, as the fans are asking him to do. But first, we're going to get this offsides kick, wow, a lot further up than I would have expected, but all the better for the Leafs.
It'll be Jokes to take. Into the middle, just over the head of Knopfsinger, but still in. Rollins will let it bounce once, and Blattner will come out and make the grab.
Risky play by Blattner there. He had no assurance he was going to win that ball first, but when
Turnover as Manguna has it now. He'll serve into the box. Smith's there, bounces once. Martin will clear it away. It's over the end line, though. Corner kick for the Maple Leafs, 4th of the night.
Yeah, a couple of shaky plays here from Marian's defense. They can ill afford it. They're already down by 2 goals, and Nate Nussbaum now will check in. And who's he going to give a rest to? Calvin Mangunda.
16:25 left on the clock. So the Maple Leafs lead 2-0 with a corner kick from Ollie Smith on the way. We've seen it sometimes this year where they've played it to the top of the box to Nussbaum instead of serving it into the box. We'll see what they do here. Ashwin checking too short. Ball's going to be served into the box. Knocked down by Diaby, trying to clear it. However, then they do get rid of it. Jokes with it now. Turns back upfield, now lays it off for Chupp. Chupp's pass is deflected off the back of a Knight. Now Radcliffe will play it forward. Stedham and Ramirez Ingold in a foot race. Stedham will win this one, settles it down. Slots Escalante makes the save. Stedham tried to go from between the legs. Escalante closed it. Stedham chases it down, drives it back across the middle. Ooh, what a chance that was, and it'll dribble over the end line. Corner kick for Marian. As Stedham drove that ball back across the box. Sartino was there, put it on frame, or at least put it wide back to the near side, but Nussbaum running through on defense deflected off of one of his leg, off the other one, and then slowly dribbled out of play.
Yeah, kind of one of those pinball movements in soccer. Just kind of goes back and forth between everybody. Lucky the Leafs come away with no goal against them as the corner kick was well too long for any Knight to collect it, and the counterattack is on.
Knopfsinger applying some pressure here to Blattner with it. He'll just clear it away. Settled down by the Knights. And down to the corner for Jackson. Service across the middle. Chupp will be the first to get there and puts it back relatively the area where it came from. Jokes has it now and out to the near side for Nussbaum. And Nussbaum with some space over to the near side for Smith. And Smith will carry in towards the middle. Tries cutting to the corner for Knopfsinger. Diaby reads that one well. Then Smith takes it back. Smith a little footwork there. Now splits 2. Has it on his right. Trying to get around to third. Martin sticks that one in the ground. And now the Knights coming the other direction. Nussbaum applying some pressure. Martin a good spin move past 1. Continues on with the play on signal. Out to the left side. The flag stays down. Jokes applying some pressure now. Jokes makes the poke free out to the sideline. Jokes continues to have utter dominance out there against anyone that tries to take him one-on-one.
Yeah, absolutely. His long legs prevail in just about every situation where they are challenged.
Trying again, Francois Revalier will slide, win the ball, and it'll go over the end line. So they're going to say, but they're actually going to say it took a deflection over off the defender who went flying over his leg. So it'll be a goal kick for Goshen, and some subs to check in.
But will they be allowed to check in? It actually looks like they won't. Oh, yes, they will, finally. All right. Hayden Gorel comes back into the game, and so does Quinton Horn, seeing his first action of the second half. And Sartino and Pedro Santos will be the players checking back out.
13-10 left here in regulation. Goshen leads 2-0 on goals from Darius Rollins and then Ari Benjamin. Diaby chests down the goal kick, and he'll drop it back to Blattner. Blattner with it out to the near side for Diaby. Some pressure coming from Smith. He's able to get rid of it to Stratton. His ball at the near line. Horn will keep in play and turns back towards the middle. Drops off for Radcliffe, back to Horn in the middle. Turns back to the near side. Lays it off for Radcliffe. Now across the middle. Martin out to the left side for Jackson, moving forward. Jackson forward. Has a hit. It deflects off of Francois Revalier right back to Jackson. The second service is not good. Over the end line and goal kick. Subs for the Maple Leafs. One sub, I should say. Jesus Dominguez Olvera will return to the action. Number 11 for the Maple Leafs. Saw a couple of minutes there in the first half. Returns for more here as Darius Rollins will be getting the break. Rollins had his second goal of the season at the 22-minute mark of tonight's contest.
Well-deserved round of applause for Rollins as he trots back to the bench as we await Escalante's goal kick. He's got plenty of players right in the middle. Instead goes to the near side where Horn intercepts with his head. Trying to go forward with it are the Knights. The steal from Ashelman.
It's deflected back. Chupp's actually going to head it back to Escalante.
Smart play by Chupp.
Out to the left side for Dominguez Olvera. He'll take it to midfield before turning back and dropping it off for Francois Revalier. In towards the center circle, Ramirez Ingold. He'll keep possession and place it square for Ashelman. Out to the near side for Rosales. Turns upfield. Nussbaum towards the middle. Instead, we'll drop it off to Chupp. Chupp forward looking for Smith. Bit errant. Ball coming the other direction. Stedham chasing it down. Jokes to his left. Takes it one touch. Jokes goes down. Stedham settles it. Puts it back left side. Ooh, it's going to be wide. Goal kick for the Maple Leafs. 11 minutes left. 2-0 still the score.
Yeah, the Leafs definitely got beat to the ball there, and Jokes juked out a little bit in the penalty box, but fortunately the shot was not on goal. And even if it was, Joan Escalante was covering the angles pretty well.
Escalante's goal kick. Low driven. And it skips through midfield before Radcliffe gets a touch on it. And then Smith will draw the foul right in front of the bench, and there's the whistle. Clock has been stopped. Breast pocket. Out comes the yellow card. I believe it's going to go to number 3. Number 3, Liam Stratton, will be issued the yellow card. Ollie Smith slow to get up, but now back on his feet, shaking off the limbs and getting ready to go. Rosales stands over the ball to restart here. Clock stopped at 10:34. Don't forget to stay tuned, as following the conclusion of this contest, Goshen College Volleyball will be in action here on 91.1 The Globe as well. Rosales ready to put the ball back into play. Drives it looking for Nussbaum. He touches it down to Dominguez Olvera. Out right side, Ramirez Ingold with it. Fakes to the corner and will drop it off. Back to the middle for Ashelman. It's too far out in front of him. He will be the first to get to it, but loses it over to two Marian players there right after him. Radcliffe gets rid of it through the midfield for Gorel. He's touched to the left, knocked down. Great defense from the Maple Leafs. Nussbaum with it. Out to the left side, moving forward with it is Dominguez Olvera. Back to the middle, looking for Francois Revalier. His touch is a bit heavy and turned over. Ball out left side with it now. Moving forward are the Knights. Jackson run down to the corner. Fakes back up the end line, up the sideline, and now will drop it off. Martin moves forward with it. He's met by Newswam. Will play it square. Ball touched into the middle. Right back to Martin now. And Jokes makes the stop. Square to Ashelman. He'll turn upfield. Out right side, Francois Revalier. He's got Knopfsinger and Smith 3-on-3. Cuts back in towards the middle. Now plays it down the line for Knopfsinger, working on Diaby. Gets down to the sideline, takes a hit. It'll be deflected. They're going to say no deflection. It'll be a goal kick for Marian.
Yeah, tough position by Knopfsinger. Pressured up against the sideline. A pretty classic defensive strategy there as Darius Rollins is going to check right back into the game. Didn't spend much of a break there at all. And it looks like Ethan Francois Revalier will get a break.
Blattner will be the one taking once Francois Revalier is off the field. Ball driven forward across midfield. Jackson will flick it on. And then Jokes will end up with it. Out to the right side for Rollins. He'll look upfield. Slots it up the line for Domingos Olvera. Drops it off for Rollins and moves forward. Back square for Ashelman. Defender on his back. Gets rid of it in time. Ramirez Ingold with it. Looks upfield. Out to the near sideline.
Yeah.
Finds Rosales. Touches down the line for Smith. Picked off by Stratton. It'll be a throw in for the Maple Leafs. And now sub for the Maple Leafs as Obando will come in as a left wing positioner for Ollie Smith. Rosales looks at his options. Go down the line for Obando. He's shielded, working against Horn and loses it. Cleared away for Marian. Goro with it, up the near side. Plays it in the middle, it's behind Sedum, and it's turned over, but we've got a whistle. We're coming back. Free kick for the Knights as Goro was taken down after getting rid of that ball. And there was no advantage.
I'm talking.
7:30 left here in regulation. Goshen leads 2-0 over Marian University in a Crossroads League men's soccer action.
Yeah, 2-goal lead in this position. Pretty comfortable for the Leafs. Very indicative that Ethan Francois Revalier would come out at this stage of the game. Aaron Patrick believes his team can seal the deal here. They just need to continue that clean sheet.
Ball won by the Maple Leafs. However, Obando turns it over. Flicked on into the box. Escalante will come out to make the save.
Really smart play by Tevin Jilks there, just shielding the ball, knowing my goalkeeper is the one who should be getting this.
Domingos Olvera with it on the right wing, moving forward. Serves one into the box, and it's too far out. Blattner will grab it. Maple Leafs a wasted possession there. As just under 7 minutes, that's enough time for 2 goals quite easily.
That's true.
So you don't want to be too lackadaisical about it. Ball dropped back for Martin. Martin across midfield. He's met there and able to get rid of it. Over, then dropped back to Jackson. Jackson into the middle for Martin. Martin this time will go back to Diaby, and the Knights will come over to the near side of the field. Diaby moving forward, space across midfield. 10 Maple Leafs behind the ball. Ball served into the box. Great ball, great touch. Escalante push saves out to the right side. Corner kick again for Marian. 6th of the night, but what a save from Escalante to keep that clean sheet.
The service was extremely impressive to thread the needle between 2 defenders, especially Jilks, the towering defensive presence. But at the end of the day, Escalante had the last say and defended the one line that really matters, the goal line.
Ball out to the corner. All but one Knight forward on this one. Ball served into the box. Escalante gets his hands on it. Rollins deflects it up, still bouncing around. Rollins knocks it up again. Out over towards the near sideline, however. Settled down by Bullock. Service back towards the middle, deflected by Rosales, and the Maple Leafs are out. Ball a little far forward, and Horn has it. Trying to get back up the sideline, loses it out of play. It'll be a throw for the Maple Leafs. Now Ari Benjamin will be checking in for the Maple Leafs.
And doing so for Brody Knopfsinger.
And then also,
and Famasaya coming back into the game as well. And we'll give Nate Nussbaum a rest.
5 minutes, 3 seconds left on the clock. That'll keep clocking, or keep ticking once the throw is returned to action. Ball at the line, touched by Obando. He loses it, however, And Horn comes through with it. Now there's the whistle. It's going to be a handball on Obando. Free kick for Marian right in front of their own bench.
I'm still talking.
Diaby will be over to take this one.
Right now.
He's got an option in the middle. He gives it.
I'm talking to you.
Because they're turning with it is Radcliffe. Drops it off. Service up into the box. Deflected down, and Escalante will come out to make the save.
Escalante making that little fall to the ground just so some more tying can be taken off. Perfectly legal. And,
4.5 as Escalante's punt will travel way over midfield. Rolls off of Diaby's leg, and Marian has possession. Cutting into the midfield with it is Bullock, however gets to Martin, and he loses it to Ashelman. Ashelman lays it off for Rosales. Defender on his back. He's able to get rid of it to Ramirez Ingold. He'll go all the way back to Escalante in the goal box. He takes his time, and now we'll get rid of it out to the right side. Skips over their head, and now Jackson with it. He'll play it up the sideline. Then right back to Jackson. Into the middle, Ari Benjamin will pick this one off. Over the Knights, recover that one. Bullock with it, slots it forward for Martin. His touch up, then settles it back down, back across the midfield. Ball looking out at the far side, settled down off the chest by Rollins. Forward to Famosaya, back out to Rollins. The Maple Leafs with plenty of time and space as Famosaya with it to the Ashelman. And forward down the line for Obando. If he can get a touch, he will keep this one in play, and plenty of space as we look towards 3 minutes remaining. Goes towards the end line, trying to cut it back. Great stop there from Bullock, but he'll lose it, and it'll be a corner kick for Goshen, their 5th of the night.
Yeah, it was a great stop by Bullock, but he just dribbled it right out of bounds after the deflection. And this corner kick is just another opportunity for Goshen to drain some clock. Oh, no, no. Thought the clock had stopped for a second there.
2:45 on that clock as Ashelman comes over to take the corner kick. Obando coming out as well. They're just going to play it short. Right back to Ashelman. It's poked away from him in a foot race with Diaby. Ashelman wins out, gets it to Ramirez Ingold. His touch in the middle across to Famosaya. He'll have a hit. It's deflects off the back of the defender, and Ashelman settles it down. He'll take a touch in towards the middle, then turns back to the outside and keeps possession out to Rosales. Rosales will drop it back to Chupp, and the Maple Leafs happy to keep possession now. 2:10 left on the clock. The Maple Leafs a 2-0 lead. Ball into the middle for Famosaya. Back to Escalante. Chips it out to the sideline for Jilks. He keeps it. And now looking into the midfield, nothing there. Now plays up the line and dropped back for Famosaya. He'll touch into the middle and then get rid of it to the near sideline for Rosales. Plenty of space to move forward. Now 1:40 left. Up the line for Obando. Obando working against Bullock. It's off of Bullock and out over the inline. Another corner for the Maple Leafs. 6th of the night, and it comes with 1:30 left on the clock. Ashelman forward to take the kick.
And knock on wood, but it's pretty hard to see 2 goals coming when we haven't for the previous 80-some minutes. You never know, but Goshen's going to take their sweet time on this corner kick, try to keep possession, if at all possible.
And now the Marian Knights player is a bit too close there. Now Ashelman will play it short to Benjamin. He's trying to shield, but down in the corner. And there's going to be a goal kick. He loses it over the end, but not wasting some time there. 55 seconds left on the clock. And that 2-0 lead looking mighty fine right now.
Yeah, technically a turnover, but exactly what Goshen wanted to have happen. I suppose if they could have gotten out of it, that would have been a little bit better. But, yeah, no concern for the Leafs at the moment.
Ashelman wins the corner, the goal kick, which is then settled down by Ramirez Ingold, and back to Jokes. Jokes to the right side. It's deflected and picked off by the Knights. And now moving forward with it, here they come. 25 seconds left. Ball's played square. Radcliffe with it. Touches around one. Gets around a second slide tackle. And now lays it off for Bullock. 10 seconds left. Ball into the middle of the short. Ashelman has it. And now he can just play it down towards the corner if he wants. As he dribbles slowly to the near side. 5 seconds left. Gets to Abondo. He tries taking on Bullock. Unable to do anything with it, but that's the time, that's the clock, that's the game. The Maple Leafs lead 2-0 over the Marian University Knights and improve to 4-5-3, 2-2 inside the in the Crossroads League. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll recap this game and get you ready for some volleyball. You're tuned to 91.1 The Globe, your home for Maple Leaf Athletics.